Hello, and welcome to the TrailManners Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Manning, coming to you from the beautiful trails in Ogden, Utah, but connecting you to wherever trail, ultra, and mountain running takes us. We'll bring trail running to life with amazing athletes, discuss the latest topics, epic journeys, and get you stoked for your next trail adventure. We're sharing the moments that make life special, because even a rough day on the trail beats a good day indoors, and nothing beats time spent with good friends and great stories. Catch us here weekly for your dose of dirt, vert, and good vibes. So now it's time to top off your water, grab some cheese curds, and join us for this week's podcast, where we take you deep into the heart of our sport. It's go time. Hello, and welcome to episode number 308 of the TrailManners Podcast, and this is our yearly Christmas guide. This is part 1 of 2, and our guest today helping me out will be Preston Wood. The TrailManners Podcast is produced for your enjoyment, and show notes are found at TrailManners.com. Check back often, and please feel free to add the podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at TrailManners. And don't forget to subscribe, review, and rate us on iTunes. If you're so inclined, TrailManners would really appreciate any contribution via our Patreon account at patreon.com/TrailManners. All links are in the show notes. Now let's get after it. All right, welcome to the part 1 of our coveted Christmas gift show. Ironically enough, we've got the guest who you heard is going to be Preston Wood. He's done this with us before, and so now he's a veteran, and now he knows what he's doing. So this is episode 308. Also, funny enough, our very first Christmas gift show launched on 12/15 of 2015. This show launches on 12/15 of 21. So 6 years ago, we launched our first Christmas guide. And now we've got Preston. How you doing, Preston?
I'm doing good. I don't know if I'm an expert at this, but I'll try. I like stuff, so this is a good episode for me.
And you run.
Yeah, and I run, and I like stuff during runs to use to help me be okay.
Well, as I mentioned, Preston is a veteran of the podcast. He's been on a few times. He's helped us out in the past. And also, you're going to be hearing from him again shortly, because he's going to be running the Hurt 100 coming in January for his second go-round. So we're going to talk to him before he leaves to the beautiful islands of Hawaii, and when he comes back to kind of hear about it. And there's quite a few runners from Utah going out there, and another veteran of the podcast, Trevor Fuchs, is going back. He's won it before.
Yep.
He was even there during the Hawaiian missile crisis they had. But yeah, this is going to be a good show because we haven't compared notes. And so it'll be interesting to see what he's got, what I've got. And then tomorrow on our next episode, part 2, we're going to have Debbie Farka on, who helped us out before. So she's going to be covering from the women's perspective of the Christmas gift guide. But the fun part is, folks, not only are we back with the podcast, but we came out guns a-blazing. So with the next 2 Christmas gift shows, we have prizes. So we've got 2 $75 Path Projects gift cards, TrailManners beanies, TrailManners hats, TrailManners shirts, and TrailManners buffs, all for free. We're going to be giving out, so listen closely as we go, and we'll tell you how you can win these items. But let's just jump into it.
Let's do it.
I'm going to let you start off. You're the guest, and we're going to break it down into categories. And so we're going to start out with outerwear. So outerwear on this is going to be like jackets, pants, things you wear outer side.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, this is something that I think the last time we had this episode, I was not a big fan of a few of these things because I thought I was tougher than I was. And as I get older, I'm still not very old, but I tend to be a little bit more sensitive to the cold these days.
Okay.
And here where we live, that's a big part of running. You got to learn how to deal with the cold. So I've got a couple items here. So the first one isn't necessarily cold weather gear, but it is a jacket that I was hesitant to buy it because it's pretty pricey. It's the Salomon S-Lab Shake Dry Gore-Tex jacket.
All right.
And this jacket is a waterproof rain jacket that isn't a trash bag. So it allows you to breathe. I get pretty warm when I'm running, and this is the first jacket that if I'm out in it in the rain, I don't sweat like just a beast the whole time. I feel like I stay dry from the rain and from my sweat. It's a pretty awesome jacket. If it does warm up or if it does stop raining, you can actually fold it down into around your waist. It has like a carrying compartment.
Wow.
So you don't have to like take it all the way off. And it's got a real tight hood that you can put on. It's just a great overall jacket. Like I said, it is pricey. The retail is $375.
Yowza.
That's why I hesitated, but I have a buddy that swore by it, a couple buddies, and they kind of talked me into it. So I splurged last year, and I haven't hesitated about the purchase. It's been really good.
So do you have any idea what the weight is on that?
Oh, it's ounces, I'm sure. Like, it is super light.
Compare it to the Houdini. That's about 4 ounces.
Similar to the Houdini, but waterproof.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same type of weight, close
same type
to it?
Of weight. Yep.
Because I'm the same as you. I struggle with overheating in any shell, right?
Yeah.
So even windbreaker type stuff, I really struggle. And one of the things that this came, and you could listen to the December 15th, 2015 show, when we talk about it, and so when Trevor came on and we had Joel on at one time, we were talking about gear. So when Preston says it's $370 something, it's pricey, but you also got to figure, and I've said this before, especially when it comes to outerwear, sometimes a jacket like that could literally save your life.
Yeah.
Right? When you're a mountain runner and you get up high elevation, weather can change in an instant, right? And so some of these lightweight things you can carry that's not like bulky, it's hard. Yes, they're expensive. And so I hate to say you can't put a price tag on them, but you kind of can't, right? Yeah. And especially if they last for 5 years,
and
break that down.
You can, like I said, you wear it around your waist like a belt. You can, I can stuff it in my Ultimate Direction utility belt that we'll talk about later, or in my pack. It takes up zero space.
Yeah. So, because I have some pricey things that'll come up on my list, but also think about what you spend on, say, shoes, right?
Yeah.
Equipment and your watch. Right? I mean, those things aren't cheap. You could buy some cases, really nice iPad for the same price. Yep. Not quite an iPhone yet, but close. But yeah, the price, don't be too intimidated by certain pieces. And there's stages and levels, but if you really want, and I'm excited to look at this. I haven't seen it. I don't know much about it, but I'm looking for a waterproof piece that's super light.
Yeah, and this is a great one. And my friend that really got hot on this, he's jacket guy. He has like 15 different running jackets, right? That's just his thing. And this is his go-to. This is his favorite for when the weather gets bad.
Okay.
It's definitely worth it. So again, maybe a little intimidating. And then something else is you brought up the price point. I've found that if I go cheap on an item early on, which I did because I wasn't sure. 6 years ago, I wasn't sure if I was really going to do this or not. And here I am, and
still doing it.
And so I bought some cheaper items, and then I probably in the long run spent more money on cheaper jackets that I don't wear than I would have had I bought a higher quality item.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean that you have to run out and buy the most expensive thing. But if you are committed and you're going to use it, you won't be disappointed if you buy a higher quality item.
And it's not just for running, right? Because you could do pacing, crewing, when you're going outside. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to use stuff like this. So it's not just like a one and done, or I'm going to wear it once or twice a year. Yeah. But I like to look at them, too, as just essentials.
For sure.
Right? And that's – because you can still wear it, I'm sure, and I shouldn't say that. But even like as a windbreaker type material, even if it's not raining, just as a shell.
Yeah, and it is a great shell as well. And then going to the next item on this list is pants.
Okay.
I was never pants guy. I was always shorts all the time. And then I was probably the first go around it hurt when I had to be out for a long time in the cold and I had just cheap, bad pants. And it was pretty miserable to be out there for, a 5-6 hour training run. And so this is something that you, Eric, actually turned me on to, is the Path Project's Kill 'em Pant. Mm-hmm. And it is awesome.
It is.
It's super lightweight. It's not a tight, so it's not super tight on your legs. It's loose fitting, but the material is stretchy. There's a ton of pockets in the pants. The way they fit and ride. I was out for almost 5 hours this morning on a long run. And they're just perfect because they keep you warm, but you don't overheat in them. They breathe just enough. I can't I can't say enough about them. A really good feature that's big for me is you can zip up the side so you can get them on over shoes. Because in a racing situation, in a situation where you're going to put them on over something, you don't want to have to take your shoes off. At least I don't.
I don't either.
And so that's a super great feature. It is an incredible pair of pants from Path Projects.
Well, and then if you're a veteran of the show, if you've listened to us in the past 6 years, you know the kind of my motto is no mas pantalones. I don't like pants. People see me in pants like Levi's or something, they look at me weird. They're like, I don't know if I've ever seen you in pants. That could be taken weird too when you're in a public setting. So we got to always, make sure what people understand. But I'm the same way. So when Path actually, I actually did a shoot with them, a photo shoot, and they gave me the pants, right? And I hadn't seen them yet, heard about them, because I also knew that I probably wouldn't be the best tester for them.
Well, but you have the look, though. You're good looking. So that's why they wanted. I mean, come on, let's be honest.
It's funny, though, is because there were 5 of us running up at Powder Mountain in these, actually 5 people. 4 of them were in pants, and they still had me in shorts. Because they were kind of like, I don't know if people would believe it if you were wearing pants, but I love them. So I have a pair, right? Yeah. And I am not a pants guy. But one thing I like about these pants is you can wear them. Like if afterwards you're going to get coffee, have breakfast with somebody, they don't look like running pants.
No, they
right?
don't.
And they're not tights.
Yep.
They have the great lightweight, stretchy materials. Like, Preston mentioned, some great pockets. It's just an all-around cool pant. Like I've worn them
to coach basketball games.
Yeah,
because they're just comfortable and you can move around. They're a good pant.
Yeah, so I have those on my list. The Killam pant, little insider. They're sold out online, but I'm going to tell people right now at the end of December, they've got another shipment coming in. So get ready because these sell out so fast. But they're and it's funny. I was at the Antelope Island Buffalo Run, the 50K, the Fall Classic, and Chris from Idaho Falls was down, and he told me he bought a pair, and he doesn't like pants, but he said he wore them up there, and he loved them. So I think it's a great pant. I don't wear it, like I said, yesterday I went running. It was like, 20 degrees, quote unquote, feels like below 20. I still had my shorts on because I'm not quite ready yet to get into the pants because our first day of winter. But yeah, this is definitely a pant I will wear for sure, even running.
Yeah,
so,
like I said, I wore it for 5 hours today up and down Malin's, and it was perfect.
Yeah, and they do taper, so they're not a tight, but they're not like baggy.
No,
right?
not at all.
They're super light.
Well.
Yeah, and there's the material they make them out of is their PX material. What's the same thing they make their shorts out of, right? Yep. So it's just an extended short, which is kind of weird. Not a lot of companies do that.
Yeah.
I think Houdini. Patagonia made like a Houdini top and a Houdini pant, and I had those, but they didn't breathe well.
Yeah.
Right? And I have them. They were my emergency. I'd put them in a pack if I needed them, but I've never usually run in them because they just don't breathe well. These ones I thought breathed pretty well.
They do breathe really well, and it's got to be that material difference.
What else you got on the outerwear?
That's it for me. I'm jacket and pants
nice.
As far as the outerwear goes.
So for me, I've got, and I'm going to sound like a broken record, and I get it, but sometimes if you got something and you do it right, you don't change it, right? So I have the Houdini on there. It's a $99 jacket. What I'm finding I'm using more with my Houdini than I have in the past is as a layer shell. Yeah. So I'll wear something warmer underneath and then that over top as opposed to wearing a heavier jacket. Because what it offers me is the ability to take off my underlayer, right? And then wear that if it gets warm, or vice versa, right? I can just take the windbreaker section off. So I still, you talk about a jacket guy, you don't want to look in my closet. It's ugly. In the Houdini, I'm not kidding. I bet I've got 6 colors, and I've gave away probably 4.
Yeah.
So I still have 6.
Well, I think the Houdini is just one of those standard items that most trail runners, anybody getting into the mountains, should have something similar to it.
Yep, exactly.
It's just something that's good to carry, safe.
Yep. And then the next one, this is my favorite jacket ever made on the planet of the Earth, right?
Not Mars?
No, Mars is warm.
Okay.
So I don't wear jackets there. But it's the Patagonia Airshed Pro pullover. This jacket, yes, I just bought my second one because it's a different color. It packs up nicely. It's a level above the Houdini. It retails at $129. It's a little different material, still like a stretchy. It still has some breathability, got a nice hood, but it's probably the the one I would wear with just a shirt, right?
Okay.
And so it's probably a level above the Houdini. And surprisingly enough, this jacket, for me anyway, is a little more water resistant than the Houdini. Now, the Houdini's not built to keep you dry.
No.
But when I wear the Airshed Pro pullover, it keeps me a little bit drier. And it's super soft. It packs up nice. It's probably my favorite ever running jacket, ahead of the Houdini. That's how much I love this jacket. I have the blue one that first came out years ago, the first one, and they just came out in black. And I like to wear black. It's just my thing, you know. I'm kind of one of the old fellas. But that's my outerwear. I have the pant on there. Again, folks, if you want the pant, please keep tuned to the website. They do have some coming out at the end of December, I found out. And I'm going to make a real quick announcement here, just because I don't want anybody. If you've listened to our show in the past, we've talked about Path projects a lot. I love the Path line, and I am quote unquote one of their crew people. But it's absolutely, like, I feel lucky for it because that's all I wear anyway. So I will bring up Path, and we're not sponsored by Path. We don't get money. They graciously just offered 2 gift cards. I asked for hats. I said, can you give me a couple Path hats? Like, why don't we give you some gift cards? So it's a great group, but I want everybody to understand that, yes, I have an allegiance to them for years, but they don't pay me. They don't do anything for me. But it's just good quality. But I like to be straight up front on all this. We don't have any sponsors here at the show. In fact, I'm having a Christmas beer, the Red Rock Griswold's beer, because it's a Christmas look. It's the Holiday Ale, and I'm not sponsored by any beer people either. and out there. But yeah, I just want to keep that up front and straight. That's what we like to do here. But if you've listened to our show, even when Joel was on, we've been with Path since the day they opened their doors, pretty much. So, all right. So that's our outerwear. You've got your jacket, and I'm going to snag that from you because I want to check it out.
Yeah.
And then we've got the pants and a couple other Houdini jackets. And with anything we talk about, keep listening for the contest because it's interactive. And we also want to hear what we don't talk about that should be on the trail running list because we don't know everything. And so if you've got something that we should have put on there, I want you to let us know, and I'll tell you how to do that in a little bit. But let's jump ahead. So we're going to stay on top.
Okay.
So we just talked about outerwear. How about some shirts? Run shirts. This has changed a lot over the years, and I will admit I'm one of the I've changed a lot over in the last year and a half, just with the way I wear things and the way I do things. 5 years ago, if you'd have told me what I'm doing now, I would have giggled at you. But maybe it's just being old and adapting to the situation. But I'm going to let you start again with run shirts.
Okay.
Because I'm going to need some help on this one. So this is where I'm doing a cry for help. So go ahead and start us off.
Okay. So I'm real basic with shirts as well. For me, a good shirt is something that for races is essential.
Yeah.
I've got to have something that I know is going to feel good all day, that's not going to chafe, that is going to absorb or do the things that I need to keep cool. And the shirt that I wore at, I think every race but maybe one this last year, is the Rabbit Easy Tee Perf shirt.
Okay. Yep.
And so it's kind of a textile shirt, but it's perforated. It's got holes in it, but they're not big holes. It's almost
like the Walmsley. It's
no,
the Walmsley
it's not
look.
the Walmsley look. No, because, I mean, nobody wants to see me in that look. I mean, maybe you do, but you don't.
I wear that shirt to bed at night.
Yeah.
That's the only time I would wear it.
Yeah. No, so it's small. It's almost like a basketball jersey kind of hole, but it's a really light shirt, and it just feels good. And for me, with the chafing issues, I don't even have to wear, like, squirrel's nut butter, and it won't chafe like other shirts do. Like,
nice.
And in shorter races where I'm not wearing a pack, that's an issue for me.
Yeah.
So, like, if I've just got a handheld or just my belt on, and so, like, it's just a great shirt. And it's, again, the only shirt that I raced in all year last year was this Rabbit Easy Tee Perf. And I'm guessing the perf is for perforations or perforated. And it's $45, but it's a great shirt. And then any of the other Rabbit running shirts have always been good for me. I have heard that, you know, people speculate that they used or that they used baby dolphin skin for them because it's just really soft. You know,
it's not just been confirmed. You didn't hear it from this show,
but you know, it's just it just feels so good.
I never felt a baby dolphin. I kind of want to now.
Yeah, no, but I have a friend that said that. I always thought it was funny, but they're just real soft shirts. This one's a little different than their classic tee that you can get, but this is the one that I like better. But any of their shirts have always treated me well.
Well, and we had, again, fortunate, and this goes back to kind of age the show a bit. When Rabbit literally first came out, we had them on our podcast. And I love their stuff. I really do. And I think what's neat with them is they have that real home local vibe of like what they do and what they're doing it for. They kind of have the road apparel and the trail apparel. They kind of break them off. Not that you can't wear one for the other, but I like the fact like some of their cuts they cater to one or the other, right? Because on a trail short, right, you're gonna have more pockets than a road short historically.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of their stuff as well, and I love seeing the new shirts they always come out with because they have cool colors. They work with like Hayden Hawks' stuff came out.
Yep.
Different athletes. But I like the Rabbit stuff as well. They're not on my list. I do have some Rabbit shirts. I've struggled at times because of the material, because they use so many different materials. They've got one material, and I can't remember what they cut. It's like a knit.
Yeah.
And I struggle with the knit stuff because it snags, or it does, to me, it chafes a little more. But I've run in they have a sleeveless that I've run in for years. It's TrailManners logoed. That's how much we liked it. And it's a great shirt. And that material, I'm hoping, is the one you're talking about. Because maybe I should wear that in the ocean and then see how slick I could be if it's a baby dolphin.
You'd probably
skin.
swim pretty fast with it.
And I'm not a fast swimmer. I could porpoise, make the noises. But yeah, Rabbit does make good stuff. Another brand that I totally support. And they come out with stuff all the time.
They do. They've always got
mind.
something new. They've always got something fresh. You know, they try to keep the patterns fun.
Yep.
You know, I think it's a fun company that I really like. And that's all I've got for my shirts, because that was the big one that I wore this year. I need some help with some long sleeve shirts. I need to find a good long sleeve that I like, because right now all I do is wear Squaw Peak 50 shirts, because that's like the only good long sleeves I have. They're like Champion brand or something. So any suggestions on a good long sleeve to wear? I'm looking for one.
So this is the part of the show that we're going to ask for help, because I'm stuck in this shirt realm as well. I focus a lot on the shorts and the jackets and the socks and the shoes, but shirts I've never really put a lot of thought into, because for so long I always wore kind of the same stuff, and I was always kind of that tech material guy, right? So I've always wore, which I still have on my list, the Patagonia Capilene Cool Lightweight shirt. It's $45. Simple, super simple. I don't like seams in shirts as much as possible. Sometimes companies put that ribbing on the side, the ribs, but then you end up with like, Jaws teeth on it. They just tear you up. But that's always been a great shirt for me. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to say it. Where I changed in the last year and a half, I've been wearing the Path Projects t-shirts.
Okay.
I love them. This because the fit feels good on me, and I'm not going to say they're baby dolphin skin.
They're better,
but they're soft. I wear them I wear their shirts out and about, right? Just a normal day, but I can run in them as well. And I've never chafed. I really like the material, and they're simple, right? They've started to come out with some logoed shirts, but for the most part, it's like a black shirt, right? And so I love wearing those shirts. Where I'm struggling is within the past year and a half, I've been wearing or wanting more sleeveless shirts.
Okay.
Not like a racing singlet.
Yeah.
I do have a tank. I'm not a tank guy. I bought my first tank top in Kauai 2 weeks ago because I like myself in tanks, but I need a sleeveless option. So my girlfriend, she cuts sleeves off her shirts. Like she'll get a short sleeve and just cut them off. And so I've kind of done that, to be honest with you. But I want a good sleeveless shirt, and I want some fun stuff, right? Because I wear a lot of black, a lot of solid colors, but I also want to get some flair sometimes when I'm feeling sassy out on the trail, So if you've got some ideas for some like sleeveless, especially, let me know. But I think I've seen a lot more getting away from what we used to call like a tech tee.
Yeah.
Right? To a little bit more softer materials. I think companies are getting more creative with the materials they use. And I see a lot more coming back to like a cotton blend, but not cotton.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what the past shirts are, kind of a blend that I've never thought I would run in a shirt like that. And I did once, and I'm like, hey, this ain't too bad. Right? So I'm kind of the same way with shirts. I've got the Capilene Cool Weight shirt for $45. any of the past shirts online. And when you talk about long sleeve, the other thing I've been doing is they have a 3/4 sleeve shirt.
Okay.
And I've been wearing those to run in, and especially under like a Houdini, because it keeps my arms warm, but it doesn't go all the way to my wrist, so I don't have to battle with a watch.
Yeah.
There's no cuff that's really tight, but it keeps my arms warmer.
Yeah, I've never tried a 3/4 sleeve.
Yes.
I mean, I'm always pulling my sleeves up. So, I mean, why not just go with the
I got that from
sleeve?
Joel,
Okay.
right? Because Path gave us 4 years ago some 3/4 sleeve, and I'm like, I don't wear 3/4 sleeve. What, I think I'm the Fonz? You know, I'm not cool.
You're way cooler.
And Joel started wearing them, and I'm like, maybe I'll try it. And I did, and I'm like, oh, there's something to this.
Yeah.
Right? So I wear their 3/4 sleeve when I want just a little bit more warmth in my arms, because obviously the rest is the same. And then I've wore like the 3/4 zip, or the quarter zip, some of the Patagonia stuff, the Capeline stuff I've really liked because of the material, and I wear those all the time anyway.
Yeah. I do have a 1/4 zip like rabbit that's kind of that material that I really like. You know, I actually got it for Christmas last year. My kids gave it to me.
Nice.
They surprised me with it.
Good
And I didn't
kids.
think I'd like it, but I really do. It's something that I wear a lot.
You need to try that 3/4 option, because again, you don't have a cuff, doesn't cover your watch, you don't feel like you're pushing your sleeves up or pulling them down. I wear it a lot this time of year for sure. I've got like, I think 3.
Okay.
I don't know if they even have them anymore, so I shouldn't say that too much. I know they went long sleeve on their T-shirts. I haven't got one yet, the Cascade tee. But yeah, 3/4 are pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. This is the in trail running gear. There's 2 categories: footwear and shorts.
Yeah.
And there's battles with this stuff.
This is where you get people with big opinions, for sure.
And that's what's great about it, though, right? Because everybody's different on what you like. So everything we just named, you could be like, you guys, nope, Old Navy, they've got the bomb jackets, whatever. But when it comes to shorts and footwear, I'm so particular that it's kind of maddening for me and other people around me, right? I'm just so particular. So the next category we're going to talk about is run shorts. And my game has changed so much within the last year and a half on run shorts. Like I never thought it would. And so I'm going to lead the run short
All right,
category.
let's hear it.
So I've always been, and I still have, Patagonia, the Pro Stride, the 5-inch.
Yep.
I went to 5-inch. I wore 7-inch forever, but then I started feeling frisky, bumped up to the 5, tried the 3, got thrown in jail, went back to the 5. So I'm in the 5-inch realm. I love the Pro Strider short. I still do. I think they're in a great short with a liner, and I went to the point where I started cutting the liners out of them because I would wear the Tahoe 3-inch base liner from Path.
Okay.
Because once I went to and I never liked liners. I thought it's kind of creepy. Why would I want 2 things to wash in the laundry? Liners and then your shorts.
Yeah.
Just give me an all in one, right? But I went to the base liners, chafing immediately stopped. Immediately, without stuff, right? So then I started cutting the liners out of my Pro Striders.
Okay.
Well, then Path decided to say, all right, for all you fellas like Eric with that rump, with the junk in the trunk, we're going to come out with the relax fit, because they always had what they call the classic fit, and I struggled. If you know me, if you've seen me, my quads and my booty aren't teeny. Comes from my soccer days, but they came out with a relax fit. I haven't looked back.
Okay.
And they came out with the Backbone AT and PX 5-inch short. They're $49, which is killer for shorts.
Yeah.
Pro Strider's like $65. I'm going to actually buy a pair of 7-inch of these for the winter, but they're sold out right now. But I love the Backbone short. 3 pockets in the back. Well, there's kind of 2 on the side, kind of like the Pro Stride short, and I can stick stuff in those. My big, gigantic laptop phone sticks in the back pocket, right? My big old iPhone fits perfectly. Lightweight, dries very fast when they get saturated, and they're just super light. I have bought, and I purchased these. I don't get them. Like I think I have 6 pair.
Wow.
Yeah, and like 5 liners.
Yeah.
So that's all I wear. You will not see me in the last year in anything but these shorts and liners. And it's not because of any other reason, but I love them. They're consistent. And so I just buy them because I'm always nervous companies are going to quit making stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think I have like 2 pair that I haven't taken out of the packaging yet. And they're just kind of in my safe place. I'm not going to say where that is.
We'll get to that here later on. Companies not making stuff. I think both of us will hit that a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, for me, it's hard to say. And to change me out of this category, you're gonna have to bring it. Anybody would, because I'm just so stuck on all these. They actually also have another short, and I'm gonna forget the name of it that I have. And it's a relax fit. They don't make, I think they have 2 models in the relax fit. I think it's the Crest. The Crest short has a back center pocket and kind of 2 pockets that are similar to the Killian pant in the front, which I still wear those as well. And it's not that I don't like them. I just fell in love with the backbone just because their pocket configuration. The Crest short, they make 5, 7, and 9 inches in those. So that's a short I can actually just wear camping, hiking, just do whatever else. So they changed my life in the run short and the liner game. So now I got more laundry. Right on. So that kind of sucks.
Well, you got to make sacrifices.
But to make me quote unquote leave Patagonia, that's a big deal.
Yeah, you had been all Patagonia all the time.
Oh yeah.
Shifting over to mine, I actually tried a pair of Patagonia shorts this year, and I honestly didn't like them.
Really?
Yeah.
The Pro Stride?
Yeah, the Pro Stride.
What didn't like about them? I'm curious.
Just the way the liner fit.
Yeah.
I didn't love it.
Yeah.
So I was surprised because everybody raves about them. Not everybody, but a lot of people rave about them. And so I just, this whole last couple of years, really, I've been pretty boring. I've just been wearing the Rabbit FKT short.
Oh, those are great shorts.
Inseam. I like the way they fit.
Yeah.
They've got a big pocket in the back with a zipper and then 2 loose pockets on the side that are nice for stuffing trash during races or holding gels if you want to. I did get one pair that had a hole in the pocket and I lost a couple gels, but that was my own fault. That wasn't Rabbit's fault. But yeah, so that's the short that I've been wearing in races. I'll pick up cheap shorts once in a while just to wear around, and I'm never happy with them. Yeah. So again, this is something where a higher quality short is going to serve you better because you wear it every day you run.
You do.
It's something that early on I would just go to Ross and I'd buy $10 Nike or whatever shorts they had, and I never liked my shorts, and then I finally bought a nice pair of shorts, and I was like, well, what have I been doing?
So what the off top of your head is like 65 as well?
I think it's like 65.
Yeah. And that's still a good price for shorts.
The thing I really like about it probably is the way the waist fits.
Oh, they got a nice waist.
It's just nice and loose, but secure. You're not worried. It feels very comfortable. And the way I just like the fit too. I'm not a small guy either, so I like the looser fitting stuff. And so that Rabbit FKT served me well, but but without talking to Eric beforehand, I did ask for a couple pairs of Path Project shorts because I'm interested now that I like the pants so much, just because I like the material and the fit.
And they're great. So, and just for sizing, not that I'm spilling any beans, but like in the Path stuff, in the base liners, I wear a large.
Yeah.
And then the shorts, I wear an XL. So I'm still like, even though they're relaxed fit, and I'm not like huge by any means, but I am thicker, and you could bust a coconut on my butt if I flexed it. It's not just flab. There's some.
It's firm.
There's some firmness there. But yeah, the sizing, because let's face it, like liners. You talk about liners, it's a game changer in a short. If they're built in and they rub, they get in the creases. They mess. It's a holiday season, so the twig and berries they get with that. It changes it.
It does.
And so the liner for me, and the liners are soft. And the great thing is, they make them in like 3, 5, and 7. So if you like a longer liner, it's the same material. They don't have the seams where you don't need them. I just think they do it right, and they offer them in different lengths, which a lot of companies don't do.
They don't.
I know the FKT has a couple. I know actually the Pro Strider does, but I know Path has like a 5, 7, and 9-inch, which I don't know a 9-inch short personally. I'm not sure what I'd wear that for.
Well,
because that's almost a pant.
Maybe if you were like being Courtney DeWalter or Francois Dane for Halloween or something,
maybe
wear the long shorts.
Because my legs ain't long, so if I wore a 9, I would look like I had clam diggers on, below the knees. So I don't know if I could do that, but they don't have 3-inch, which makes me appreciate their product line. Because at 3-inch,
well, Rabbit has 3-inch.
They do.
I have a pair.
I do too. Yeah. I ordered a pair of Rabbit 3-inch, and I'll put them on and go, yeah, you're not leaving the house.
Yeah. No way, right? No way.
One day it would be nice to feel comfortable in that, but those days might be past me by now.
So back to sizing. So to kind of give you guys an idea. So in my Path Projects pants, I got a large, and that fits perfect.
So did I.
But like in those rabbit shorts, I wear a medium.
Do you really?
Yeah, I like the fit of the medium better.
Medium?
Yeah.
Man, I haven't wore mediums. I don't even want to say when, but wow.
Yeah. And again, I'm not a small guy, but the mediums, I like the fit. The larges were just a little too loose.
Wow.
So
okay.
So just kind of keep that in mind. So those rabbit ones can maybe fit a little bit bigger. And then for a liner, for an independent liner, because like with those Path Projects pants, you got to wear something underneath. I'm a big fan of Saks.
Oh, yeah. I've got a pair on right now.
There you go.
If you were watching this show, I would show them to you. They're stars and stripes.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of Saks. I got turned on to them the first time I ran Hurt because somebody suggested that wearing a good underwear liner would save you from some chafing, and it really did.
It does.
Yeah, so I went to them, and I haven't turned back. They've been really good.
That's my everyday wear.
There you go.
Yeah, and I used to wear the Capeline boxer shorts.
Okay.
Like the boxer style. And I still have some because I just like them. I think I'm more like what I'm wearing over them is what I wear, but I wear a lot of like joggers and stuff now. I love the Saks stuff. There's also a company that I found years and years ago, one of the first, called My Package. And they're very similar to Saks, but I agree. I could run in those because they do make them in different materials.
Yeah, they do. They have like an athletic one.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at the name. But when I was putting together my list, I didn't think of it until we were just talking. So, but you can go on their website and they have a more active underwear.
Different lengths.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool patterns.
Yeah.
Because mine they're blue. I'm going to tell everybody what I'm wearing right now. I'm not Jake from State Farm, but they're navy blue with white stars and red trim.
There you go.
Patriotic.
Not safe for work, folks.
No.
Yeah.
But for the record, I do have pants on.
Yeah, that is true.
And sitting at the table. He can confirm that. We have some standards with the show. Is that your short line?
That is.
So to me, that's where it's changed so much is the short and liner combo, and I see a lot more people going that route.
Yeah.
Because liners can be so iffy.
Yeah.
Right? They can, like, you could have the best short in the world and have a funky liner. And I've known a lot of companies too make liners that are more of the longer ones, right? Mm-hmm. So they kind of fit like a huggy short.
Yeah. I can't.
It's just a crapshoot.
Yeah, it is.
Right? And so I think once you find something, because chafing in the nether regions has got to be one of the worst things that could ever happen to you. And that's why there's so many different products just to address that situation, which, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about it. But yeah, I think the game's changed a little bit on the liner side and what people like. So again, whatever you think we're missing, throw it our way.
Yeah, because I'm sure somebody knows something that's way better than what we're talking about, or might work better for somebody else.
Yeah, but it's not way better in my opinion. You really got to. You can bend me on a shirt and maybe a jacket like Preston did, but you got to bring it on the short and liner line. I'm pretty stubborn.
There you go. Let's see if somebody can do it.
Let's see if someone can break me. Like Drago says, I will break you.
Break you.
All right. Here's the granddaddy. We have a lot still to cover, but this is the granddaddy for me, because if you listen to this podcast, if you know me,
everybody knows what Eric's going to say right here. Everybody
I've struggled with footwear for so many years, like literally years.
Thanks, Pearl Izumi.
You sons of, you know what you're saying. I love Pearl Izumi still. Footwear. Footwear is probably by far the most varied thing, even past nutrition.
And probably the most important.
Absolutely. Because, there's so many brands. Each brand has 87 models in 27 colors. So literally you're picking from thousands of shoes.
Yep.
Right? Some companies are a little more trimmed down than that, but the folks here on the podcast are going to be a little shocked that know me, where I've come to as of today.
I think I know what you've been wearing lately.
I know it's and it's not in any other reason, but for my foot, they nailed it because if you know me, I'm a Pearl Izumi V3 N2 man. I still have 3 pair, and these are easily
you're wearing a
5
pair
years
of
old.
Pearl Izumis today.
I am, the N1s.
Yeah.
And they're good looking, man, fresh out of the box, and they haven't made them for over 5 years. So that tells you what my storage unit looks like. I have 3 pair of Pearl Izumi V3 N2s. 2 of my favorite colors with the yellow, and then I've got an all black pair that I'm literally saving for quote unquote the day. And I don't know when that is yet. It'll hit me.
That's going to happen.
But those are my all-time favorite shoes. I've never found a replacement, and I cannot tell you how many emails, phone calls, or suggestions I get that people tell me, oh, this is the replacement for that. Because when Pearl Izumi left, there were companies that chased that shoe. They would actually put in their description, this will take place of
Well, I
blank.
remember the last podcast we did, the last gift one, the North Face had come out with a shoe that they swore was the replacement.
Okay, so, and a quick thing to that, the North Face, the Vective line, the guy that designed those designed the Pearl Izumi.
Yeah.
That's the same guy, right? Now, I bought 2 pair of those North Face shoes and returned both of them because I want them so badly. But they were still just too snug in the forefoot. That's it. I thought they were comfortable. I'm hoping it changes a little bit. Mike Thompson, if you're out there, you're the man. You're still my best buddy in the whole world when it comes to shoes, but just a little wider for this boy. But he's the same guy that developed them, and that's where he kind of did the similarities to it. And I've tried, and I've been all over the world talking to everybody across the globe, gurus, shaman, everybody, sorcerers, sorceresses. I'm sitting on right now, I wear, you ready for this, listeners? The Hoka, I said the H word.
Yep.
Mafati Speed 3, but it's got to be the yellow ones.
The yellow ones.
So they're $170. This is where it hurts my heart.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not trying to be any other way, but historically, due to the background of my previous employment, I didn't really pay full retail for stuff.
Yeah.
And I do now. So when I'm looking at a pair of shoes, $170, and that's before tax, shipping, or tax.
Yeah.
And if you're an REI member, don't tell me to use your discount because they won't let you on Hoka stuff. I found that out the hard way. I saved my 30%. Oh, 30% coming.
Take that dividend somewhere else.
No, they let you use your dividend.
Oh, okay.
But when they do their specials, you can't use it on Hoka stuff. So my Christmas wish list is some listener out there that has a Hoka code.
There you go.
Just email me, manners@trailmanners.com. I would love you forever. But I love the shoe. I've been wearing it for a year. I'm on my 3rd pair. So I bought 2 yellow pairs, run through them. I had to order the dazzling blue desert sun pair, which is turquoise, and I struggle. I've tried to get them dirty,
just don't
but
like
they
the
won't
color?
get dirty.
Oh.
I don't like the color.
Jeez.
I don't like the color. But the other color that I really like
Is it the red one?
the Provincial Blue Fiesta.
Oh.
Like, listen to the name of that. Provincial Blue / Fiesta. That sounds sexy with 3 X's.
Sure.
3
Yeah.
X's in sexy.
It's a Fiesta.
So that's my favorite color, but they were sold out when I got the turquoise. But I love the shoe. I absolutely love it. Everybody's been trying to get me to do the Speed Goat for so long,
Yeah.
but it's still too narrow for me. And the wide ones are too sloppy.
Okay.
So I am looking forward to the Speed Goat 5
Yeah.
to see what's going on there. I know they changed the upper. They've done a few tweaks to it. But I'm telling you what, folks, this men's Mafati Speed 3, it feels good.
Yeah, I've always meant to try it, but I just never have. Just because when we get to me, I'll tell you why. But I've just never tried it. But I've always heard great things about it. Nobody's ever said that's a horrible shoe.
Yeah. Well, and for me, if you listen to the show and know me, my sweet spot is like 4 to 5 mil drop. These are 4 mil drop,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. A lot of shoes from another company that I'll mention in a minute are usually like 8 to 10.
Yeah.
And people say, how can you feel it? You can. I can anyway.
I can't. It sounds silly. I was having this conversation with my buddy Seth not too long ago. Like, you feel like you're wearing high heels almost.
Oh,
it's
I
so
totally
weird
do.
because you're saying, well, it's 4 millimeters. You know how small that is? It's not much.
Yep.
But you can feel it.
Yep.
I can. Maybe I'm just a princess with a P.
Well, great. Then I am too. So
Yeah.
we got a couple princesses here.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is like people look past is not only can you feel it, but it absolutely changes, how your body functions, right? Your Achilles, your calf, your foot, whether you think it does or not, it does. And that's partly why if you buy a pair of Ultras, any zero drop line, they flat out will tell you, and I love Ultra for doing this. They say, just if you haven't wore zero drop, you got to get used to it, right? Because it can change your mechanics just enough, right? Because I've wore Ultra, and I'm actually looking forward to the Mont Blanc that's coming out next year. It's a new model they got that looks pretty sexy.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of it.
But I've been wearing the Hoka. I did get a deal on a pair, and that's why I got the turquoise. And when I bought them, because of the deal, I bought 2 pair. And so thank you, and you know who you are that helped me out on those. But I want the yellows because they're going to get rid of them. They always get rid of stuff I like.
Always.
Right? And I don't want to, like, if I find out they're getting away from this shoe, I would probably go buy 3 or 4 pair even at that price.
You better hope that nobody else finds out, or else you're going to be like me, out of luck with your favorite pair of shoes of all time.
Okay, so I'm not done, but I'm going to switch over to you because I'm wearing the Mafati Speed 3. Love them. I talked about the Speed Goat 5 coming out. It's going to be at 145, and they're less, right? And so I'm like, Mafati Speed 3, why? Why you got to be so much for me, man?
Yeah. Well, it's that upper, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
That's, again, so I'm a little upset at Hoka right now because the best shoe ever, I think you could ask all their pros. You could ask everybody, except for a very few, like Tim Tollefson loves the Mafate, right? But like the Evo Speed Goat was the best shoe ever, in my opinion. I know it didn't work for everybody, but every race I was at, it seemed like the shoe that I saw.
So tell the listeners, what's the difference between the Evo Speed Goat and the Speed Goat?
So it's the upper. Okay. So the upper of the Evo Speed Goat has the Matrix upper, it's called. It's just it's a little bit more flexible, lighter. Okay. It was like 1.5 ounces lighter than the Speed Goat 4. And so the bottom, everything was the same on the sole. The outsole rubber, everything was exactly the same as the Speed Goat. They just changed that upper, and the idea was they did it for Western States for Jared Hazen and Jim Walmsley.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they did it for Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, they did
the Matrix
Keanu.
upper.
Yeah, that Matrix upper. No, they did it because it drains really well, going in and out of the water all the time.
Oh, okay.
So it drains really well. It's super lightweight and it breathes really well. And I legit raced in that shoe all this year, last year, and most of the year before. Like that was the only shoe that I would race in. They were expensive, so I would sometimes train in the regular Speed Goat because it was like $40 more. I think it was like $175 or $180.
Same feel though?
Yeah, same feel, just better. Okay. So better fit on your foot. It just felt like a running shoe.
Gotcha.
And like a faster shoe. So I'm a little disappointed. I mean, Jim Walmsley still wore them at UTMB. I think Hayden Hawks just wore them at 9 Trails. Like all their pros still are wearing them. And I think Jim wore him in South Africa just barely at that 100K that he just ran, the Cape Town 100K. And so, like, obviously all the pros still love him. They swear that the Tecton is going to replace it. That's their new one.
It's on my list to talk about.
Yeah, so they're coming out with it. It's a carbon-plated shoe. It's
two
carbon plates.
Yep.
It's going to be light. It's going to be like 9 ounces. And kind of that same, they always do the Vibram rubber, everything.
But it also comes in at $200.
Exactly.
And it's not coming out till May of next year.
Well, and that's the thing is they said the Tecton and the Speed Goat 5 were going to be ready for December, and then now it's like May, and it's like, okay, and now Speed Goat 4s, which is what I'm wearing now,
are hard to find.
They're hard to find. Yep. Yeah, and like I think I bought one of the last pairs in the state of Utah. I had to drive down to Runner's Corner in Utah County and buy them. And so that's what I'm wearing now is the Speed Goat 4, which I like. It's a great shoe. It's got thicker lugs than that Evo Speed Goat. So like I wore them pacing at Hard Rock this year. It was awesome coming off some of those steep descents, and maybe I should have worn them at Wasatch. But yeah, Speed Goat 4, it's a great shoe, solid shoe, cheaper. The upper I don't love, but they changed it for the 5, which I was hoping I'd have for Hurt, the 5.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not going to happen. I'm going to be wearing Speed Goat 4s, which again, great shoe, solid shoe. And I'm just such a Hoka diehard, I guess, that I can't switch to anything else. But that's where I'm at with shoes.
Well, it's funny when people see me locally running in Hoka, they always are like, "You're in Hokas? You're in Hokas?" And I'm like, "It's what I've got so far."
Well, it's because it's good.
And I've never wore Hokas before. I tried. There's multiple times I tried like the Challengers early on and a few others, and they just never worked for me.
The quality of some of those earlier Challengers. I wore a brand new pair at a race once and blew them out. On a 50-miler. Thanks.
But here's what I do is I take all the laces out and I put in my Pearl Izumi laces.
Ooh.
So it still takes me home country road.
So speaking of the lacing with the Speed Goat 4s, if you have a problem with them, something that me and one of my buddies have figured out is if you loosen them all the way and then just gently tighten them up, it fits better. So that's our opinion. You don't have to do that, but it's made it so I like the 4s better.
I just put Pearl Izumi shoelaces in them from my old. I took
so it's got enough pearl that you're happy. It does,
and it's got enough of it brings that spirit to my feet. So my feet feel more we're back alive. Yeah. We're not wearing that, but I really like the Hoka Mafati Speed 3. I don't know if they're changing them. I don't know if they're going to discontinue. I haven't heard.
Well, they might. They just discontinued what I think is their best shoe they ever made.
Great.
So again, like I always tease my buddy Shane Martin because he has like a garage full of shoes. Like he whipped out a brand new pair of Speed Goat 2s the other day.
Nice.
Right? And I'm like, where'd you get those?
You don't want to see my storage unit.
You don't want to know how many pairs of shoes I got. And I always thought it was goofy until Hoka did this to me.
Yeah.
You know,
well, that's what I did with Pearl.
Yeah.
My daughter, we went to our storage unit. She took a picture of all my shoe boxes and sent it to a couple people just to say, see, my dad's got a problem.
Yeah.
This is why my daughter's like, this is why I don't eat. My dad buys shoes.
Yeah.
But no, my daughter eats. It's
sometimes
when I let her. But on my list, besides those, like I'm looking forward to Speed Go 5. Just check them out.
Yeah.
Again, May's a long time to wait, and the problem, like I flew to Kauai last week, a couple weeks ago. It was so interesting to find LAX and seeing all the boats in the ocean.
Yeah.
I was blown. Like I've heard but seeing it for yourself, you're like, wow, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That, stuff is going to be like next phase before that phase is sold, right? Even cars. So.
And on that Speed Goat 5, I guess they changed the upper, so they say it's knit, but
I saw a picture.
But I don't know what that means. Everybody that I've talked to that's put a pair on, like at running shops, they say they love them.
Okay.
But again, how's that going to perform?
Yep.
I don't know.
Catch a tree branch and just rip it out.
But Hoka's been pretty good at the Speed Goat except for that very first one.
Well, the only other 2 I have on my list besides that, and you mentioned, is a Tecton. It's an X, so I don't know if that's 10 or just X, because I know the Carbon, they call it Carbon X, so I'm
Carbon
going
X,
X.
Rocket X.
Right?
That's just what they say when it has a carbon plate.
Gotcha. So they got the Tecton. It's going to be the same as the Speed Goat 5, far as their, it's a 33 mil heel and 29 mil toe. 2 ounces lighter than the Speed Goat, but it does have the 2 carbon plates. But coming in at $200, I mean, this. So when Hoka came into the running shoe world, they're the ones that push the price point.
They always have.
So they were the ones. I remember when they first came out, and they had what I thought they were like moon boots, right? The coloring and the way they looked. And Carl was the first guy here, and I remember the pricing, and everybody's like, these guys will never stay. That's ridiculous.
Yep.
Well,
here we
guess
are.
What? Here we are, right? But they do. To me, they keep, like, even in their road shoes, the carbon ones were over $200.
Yeah.
Right. So they're pushing it, which is fine because we all know that a shoe makes the world of difference. Especially when you can't find one you like. And I've tried so many pair. I've wore the Ultras. I don't mind the Ultras at all. I've wore the Timps and the Olympuses. That's why I'm kind of looking forward to the Mont Blanc. But the other shoe I've been wearing is a Salomon shoe, which is ironic because they're the ones I was talking about earlier that are usually that really high mil, the differential in the drop. Yeah. So it's like high heels, and I've loved their shoes. The very first trail runs I ever went on, I had the Salomon XA Glides.
Okay.
And they weighed 47 ounces. That's what they feel like now, right? When they first came out. But I loved them. I loved the lacing systems, all that stuff. The Ultra Glide, I have a pair of. And a friend of the show, he was with the Pearl in the days.
Mike Ambrose, designer of the shoe.
Yeah, and so he actually emailed me. He's like, "Hey, you got to check this out when it comes out." Of course, I paid full retail, folks, so it doesn't matter who you know sometimes.
He still owes me a pair.
Yeah, he's coming
He's moving back to Ogden,
That's
so
right.
I'm going to bust him up.
There's 6 mil drop, so it's still 4 to 6 is kind of where I hang. 34 mil in the back, 28 in the front. I have a pair of the blue ones, and I really like them. I really do. It's not a shoe for me. I am a bigger guy, and until things change this next year, it's not something I would wear on like a 100-miler.
Yeah.
Even a 50-miler most likely, right? But it's something I could easily, I wear them around a lot with my joggers because they look solid. But I could wear them on, 10, 15-mile trail run, no problem.
It's a shoe that I've been interested in trying.
It's a good shoe, and they sold out so fast.
Yeah.
And that's why I bought a pair. I think I got them from REI because no one carried them. Yeah. Salomon was sold out. So I should be sponsored by REI, I decided.
You should.
I hope
the
you're
Utah running shop here locally carries them now.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Okay. And they came out with a new color.
Yeah, they have a red and black one in there now. It's super good looking.
And
I like the blue, though.
If you're looking for shoes what I've noticed is a shop that gets shoes, Seven Hills Running in Seattle, they get them for anybody.
Okay.
I swear, if you follow them on Instagram, I have no allegiance. I've never been there, but I follow on Instagram to get all my juice. They always have stuff before anybody else.
Okay.
And it blows my mind. I don't know how they do it. I don't want to know, right? Because I don't want to end up in a ditch. But if just a plug, Seven Hills Running in Seattle. If you want to know what's coming out, and what they do an amazing job of is they'll take shoes that come out and compare them side by side.
Okay.
They'll take like the North Face Vective line and they'll compare it to a Hoka, right? Okay. Something that's supposed to be similar, and they give you the best breakdown. Shoe drop difference, weight, ride, feel, everything. So if you want to know more about stuff, that's a great resource. I use them all the time.
Yeah, I've got a resource for that, for tech stuff. You'll have to remind me when we get down there.
Gotcha.
It's super helpful if you can look at things side by side.
Exactly.
I love that.
They do that, and that's partly why I've been buying certain things is because of that. So are we done with the footwear?
Yeah, except if we want to throw socks in here.
No, we'll take that down to the miscellaneous.
Okay,
but so footwear, again, send us your stuff. I know there's a lot. They just had the running event down in Austin that I'll be at next year, which I'm really excited to go back to. But there's a lot of stuff that was released or talked about, but the problem is the state of the world we're in. It's not stuff you're going to have for spring either. Yeah. So, but that's what's weird is like Seven Hills has a picture of the Ultra Mont Blanc they're showing in their hands.
There you go.
Just weird stuff.
They're slinging it already.
Maybe
they paddle out to the boats.
That's a long paddle, but if you're going to do it,
you got to go all in. Yeah.
But we'll jump next to the hydration category. And when I say hydration, this is packs, handhelds, waist belts, that type of thing is going to be next. And then we got a few more things, and we'll kind of get through it. The next one we have, like I said, is the hydration side. So for me, changed. People are going to get blown away again. I've grown as a human being. I just turned 50 this year.
You're turning over a lot of new leaves. I like this.
So my whole running career
I think it's Sarah. We can thank Sarah.
Is it a think? You think?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Hydration, and I still do. Don't get me wrong. I still have a lot of packs. Ultra Spire. I think Bryce has always put out quality stuff. There's no question in my mind that he's an innovator. Ultra Running has everything to thank him for. And I've been wearing that stuff for years. But this year, I switched allegiances a little bit. I still have my Ultra Spire stuff, don't get me wrong, but I've been wearing Salomon vests.
There you go.
And
which one?
I've been wearing the Active Skin 5 and 8.
Okay.
So the 5 for short stuff, 8 for anything long. Because I decided I don't need big, like the 12s and stuff. That's just too much space.
Yeah.
Right? Because then I know I'll pack it and not use it. Mm-hmm. So I've switched over to those stupid little bottles that you wear on your chest. And if you listen to past Christmas guide episodes, I've always been against them, but I learned how to use them. You read the instruction manual. I don't like the long tubes, right?
No, I don't
it's like something dangling in your face, sticking in your nose. Yeah. But I used to say, I can never get them back in. So now I've got it to where I kind of contort my body just enough and do it. And then when you fill them up, they go in fairly easy. But I've gone to the Salomon Active Skins, and they make them in black.
Yep.
Me,
Simple.
I'm a simpleton.
Yeah.
I'm a simple guy, but that's all I have on my hydration because I've also changed a new leaf where I don't take water under 10 miles.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't even use handhelds. If I'm going over 10, I just throw a vest on. Right. So if I go under 10, I'm nude as far as hydration goes. Mm-hmm. Right. If I'm over 10, I just chuck the 5 on because it's tight enough, but it's got the expansive pockets, and I can if it's under 15, it'll be one bottle in the front and the phone in the chest on the other side.
It balances it out,
and it totally balances. I learned that, and it balances it out. Yep. Exactly. So that's all I got. That's it. That's it on the hydration side.
Super simple, and I love it. I
still have handheld, so I just don't use them.
So I've always been a Salomon pack guy. They just fit snug, and I don't feel like it bounces. So I'm definitely a Salomon pack guy, but I haven't loved the newer versions of them that they've come out with. So I get a little picky, and it's like a version 3 or 4 ago. It's like the S Lab Advanced Skin 5 or something. So I wear the 5 set because I like that kangaroo pouch in the back that I can just stuff my phone back there. I can put whatever toilet paper or whatever I want to carry back there. Lots of pockets. I like the front bottles. But yeah, so that's my pack. I just love the fit. As a former football player, I feel like it fits snug like shoulder pads. Some of the other vests I've tried just don't. And I won't mention them by name because I don't want to slander anybody, because those vests work really well for some people.
Yep.
But for me, that Salomon vest. But lately, the thing that I wear every run is the Ultimate Direction utility belt.
Okay.
Just it goes around your waist. It has a big pocket in the front, big pocket in the back, and side pockets. So I can fit my phone, I can stuff a water bottle in the back, and then I can put gels in the side. So
Gotcha.
I can get through a pretty long run with just that. It's nice, and you can carry like a jacket on the outside, or even in one of those pockets. You can carry poles in the back. It has loops for poles. So it's just really something I like. And then handhelds, I've been using more as well. I raced some of my shorter events this year with just handhelds, and I love just the Nathan hard bottle handhelds. They're like 22 ounces.
Yeah.
So you get plenty of liquid in there. But yeah, that's what I've been using for hydration. That Salomon pack is something. Even when I can't find the older ones, I'll just buy a new one because they still are the better ones for me. They just fit better.
I'm the same way, and I still have a few handhelds that I could use.
Yeah.
I'm glad I've turned the corner on some of this stuff. Like almost simplified my running a little bit. And then again with the pass shorts, it's easy to put my phone if I need a gel.
Yeah.
I can just chuck them in there. So it's really the vest is more of a water situation.
Yeah, and I with my phone in the shorts, I just don't like how that rides. That's why that Ultimate Direction utility belt's become an everyday thing.
Yeah,
because it's just I like it.
Good. Is that it for your hydration side?
That is.
There we go.
Yep.
So we're simple here.
Yep.
Right. Nutrition. This is the one that's all over the board, right? I mean, there's so much out there. Everybody has their own style. Everybody has their own likes and dislikes. I've simplified my game so much within the past year. I haven't still got it dialed, but I've gone to 2 companies now, pretty much. I do Spring Energy gels, and I usually stick to the mango.
Okay.
Because I like those. They don't hurt my stomach. If I'm going long, when I did the Bighorn 100 this year, which I'm going to say now I didn't finish, my stomach went south, but it wasn't because of that. It was the heat, right? And I kind of screwed that up a little bit. That was self-inflicted. But I like the Spring Energy gels. I like the consistency and flavor. There's other things I've tried, but I also like that a lot of companies now are putting stuff in their drink mix, right? As opposed to getting your calories through a gel.
Yeah.
I've taught my body a little bit more to nibble at aid stations for the calories if you needed. The scratch bars, if I need something solid, I love the scratch bars. They've got savory, they've got sweet. The flavors are good. They're different. Like the lemon ones or the pistachio, and they've got a miso one. I love those. Their electrolyte drink, Scratch, is the only thing I use. I love it. And then the recovery drink they have. I still am a recovery drink guy, not a chocolate milk guy, and I still love me some Scratch Recovery, the chocolate flavor. What's that?
Why not just do both? Chocolate milk? Come on.
I've done that. I've done that. And so I've done that. And on the electrolyte side, I still have some First Endurance stuff. I've always been a First Endurance guy for probably the bigger part of my trail running life. But Scratch, I really like the way they explain what's in their stuff. I really like to explain why it's in their stuff, and they're kind of more along the lines of like real food, because they have like their cookbook on all their rice stuff, and we've talked about that in the past. So as far as nutrition goes, that's kind of my realm, but I'm always open to new stuff. I'm kind of I don't say anti-gel guy, but I've never found a gel. The spring one's the closest that I could have consistently. I almost would like this year with the races I have coming up to have gel as more of a fill-in, right? If I don't have something, that's my fill-in. And then I've never had a problem with like too much of an electrolyte drink. Like I could do the lemon lime all day.
Okay.
So that's my nutrition stuff.
Well, my nutrition stuff is pretty basic too. So gel-wise, I like to kind of keep a few options open. I use a lot of Spring Energy, and I use a lot of just goo. Goo works for me pretty dang well. I know it doesn't work for everybody. This is always my caveat with it, because some people can't stand it. But I like just goo. I've experimented a bit. I got some free Martin stuff.
Oh yeah.
That stuff I like, but it's expensive.
It's really
expensive. So I've just stuck. And Spring's not cheap either. But Spring, I feel like it just goes down easier, and you can get some pretty high calorie stuff. Their awesome sauce ones like 180 calories. The Speed Nut ones 250 calories. You don't have to eat as much. You feel like the consistency is good. And then for my drink mix, I'm kind of starting to migrate away from the Goo Roctane, and I really like the Gnarly Nutrition Fuel 2.0.
Okay.
I first actually, my buddy and our friend, mutual friend, Trevor Fuchs, he has been a Gnarly Nutrition guy historically and helped him develop their Fuel 2.0. And he kind of was always pushing me towards it. And I didn't try it, actually, and this is a big no-no, but it didn't hurt me until race day at Wasatch this year. And it was good.
Yeah.
And it's
They have
like
the cherry cola.
Yeah, they have the cherry cola. They have the lemon lime that's non-caffeinated.
I actually do drink that as well. I shouldn't have left that off. I do like that.
And Gnarly Nutrition's a local Utah company here. They're really making a push into the endurance field. And I think they've done a really nice job.
They have, for sure.
Yeah, so that's all I use is Spring Energy, Goo gels, and occasionally Goo Roctane, and then Gnarly Fuel 2.0.
Yeah, and I have used that. I should know. I feel bad for leaving them off the list.
And Gnarly has a great recovery drink. They have a BCCA drink. They have a lot of different nutritional beverages, and they're all pretty dang good and tasty.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so this is kind of the junk drawer, right? This is our miscellaneous category. So we've kind of covered these special categories. We're going to go through this, I'll say fairly quick, because it kind of is just that overall, what are the extras? And this is where socks will fall in and some other things. Then we got one more category after that. So this is kind of like your miscellaneous group. So this is where we talk about, we can talk about socks. Okay. So you mentioned that earlier. I'm going to let you lead off with the sock line.
So socks, I've tried to get away from the one that's always worked for me just because I don't always like how they look. Not that they look horrible. They have some good options, but the features, like 3/4. So like I like a longer sock. I'm not a no-show guy. So the anyways, lost my train of thought. The features sock, the high cushion one is my go-to sock. Yep. I've tried the Stance performance socks, and I like them, and they look way better, and they have way more options, but it just doesn't work for me if I'm in an ultra situation. I've got to have the sock I can trust, and it's just features.
Yeah, I'm a features guy, and I'm a Stance guy. Yeah. Those are the two that I've got a couple other brands that I've dabbled with a little bit, but I always find myself going back, and I do no-shows primarily. This time of year, I switch over to that kind of crew look.
Yeah.
Just because of the snow and just protecting your ankles and different things. But primarily, I'm a no-show features guy. Stance, I do have a few of their no-shows. I'm a Stance guy every day. I wear all their stuff.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, I love their socks for just wear around.
Yeah, so that's kind of my thing on the socks is features and Stance still. And I've never been an Injinji guy. And that comes up a lot. I get questions on those. And if you've seen my feet, you may know why. My little toes, and they're kind of got some issues. And I always get too tired putting them on. I get exhausted.
They're a good sock. They really are. But I've just never had problems with with toe blisters or anything. And so it kind of just complicates it for me. I like it. It's a great product. But for me, I can just wear features just fine.
And so I'm going to rattle down my list here. This is kind of the miscellaneous category. This is the a la carte. And I'm just going to rattle it down, and then I'm going to give Preston a go. Hypervolt gun. I love I call them just a thumper gun.
Yeah.
It's a thumper gun. Now, I got a Hypervolt, and the customer service, everything is impeccable. But I also decided to go on Amazon because I wanted a compact one, and I found one like $40.
Yeah.
And it's tiny, and I love it.
Yeah,
no issues. But I love the thumper gun for every reason, like just whatever, right? So I like a thumper gun. If I'm going to do the headlamp side, there's one. So at the bottom, I'm going to say what I want.
Okay.
Because some of this stuff is what I have. I have a what I want for Christmas list. So what I have, my go-to. One of my favorite all-time things is the Petzl headlamp, the Bindi.
Okay.
It's $45, 200 lumen, and it's teeny. But it's so perfect if you want to start a run that you know you're going to finish maybe when the sun's coming up.
Yep.
Right? So I start at 5:30, do 10 miles, the sun's coming up. It's teeny. It's got like more of a stretchy cord that goes around your head, and I can fit it in my pocket when I'm done. So I don't have to wear this big bulky headlamp. So it's like a quick go-getter that I love. The Bindi from Petzl is amazing. What you're going to start seeing more from me is I've got the Insta360 One X2 camera. It's like $380. It's a 360 camera. I took it to Hawaii and just crushed it with it, and I'm like in love with it.
Okay.
And it's got the invisible stick type thing. And I don't do a ton of videos when I run because it's just like extra to carry.
Yeah.
And I'm not a photo shoot guy. But I could see this coming into a lot of my adventure runs.
Okay.
Because it's super cool. Because in the past, I got the Insta 360 Go, which is super tiny, like chapstick size, and you can put it places. Get the Go 2. If you want to get something fun, it's $270. The new one is, but they're
I'm not
super
video
fun.
guy, so I'm just over here laughing.
So I shoot video, and I don't do anything with them. Sometimes I'll look at them on my phone and go, "That is so cool," and that's all I ever look at them again. Go. So this is my challenge for myself this year: is to document
show
more.
Gunner, and that's it.
Probably, yeah. We got to get his feet hardened, but so that. Stocking stuffer stuff, squirrel's nut butter. I always have that on hand, and I use it in the heat more than anything.
Yeah.
Even with O-liner, it's just that extra protection. Make sure I got it there. But I love squirrel's nut butter. I've loved them from day one. When they first came out, Thornley's a stud. Everything he's done in the trail running community is amazing. So I always have supported squirrel nut butter. So I love that stuff. I buy their swag just to buy it, just to support the company. An easy gift for somebody in your life is the Gooder shades. Super inexpensive. I don't wear sunglasses a lot when I run, but when I do, and I work for Smith Optics for 15 years.
Yeah.
But Gooders are. They scratched, let's buy a new pair, right? Because they're so inexpensive.
It's
another great gift. The Suunto Peak 9, the Barrow. That's a watch I've used for years. Can't go wrong there. And I'm going to talk about that later. And then the last two things for your gift cards from a local run shop. I've said that for years. Wherever you're at, if you want to give a gift to your running friend, give them a gift card to a local run shop.
Yeah.
Right.
Not Jackrabbit, not anything big. Find the local one. There's somebody there that could use your help.
Yep. And they're always going to, even if it's a $25 gift card, right? They can get $25 towards something, or buy some socks, or buy some nutrition. We've always supported or love supporting those small businesses. And then the big thing that I love, this is a miscellaneous category, is the one wheel pint. Within the last year and a half, 2 years, I bought a one wheel. Yeah. And it's been a blast.
I've seen those videos.
And I'll tell you, I've crashed pretty hard on one of those. But it's good, though, for you. It, works your stabilizer stuff, man. And I'm not a skater, so it was a big change.
I've been scared a few times. The guys were, coming up the trail in them. And I'm like, what are you guys doing?
I couldn't ride one on a trail. If I got one on a trail, you'd see me upside down, backwards, and inside out. It's not pretty. But that's kind of like my round out miscellaneous. And that, you could throw in, coaching services for your friend or yourself. Get yourself some coaching services. You could do, traction for your shoes, race entry gifts. These are just gifts. This is the gift show. So those are some of the out there miscellaneous things that I have on my list. And I'm going to let Preston go and see what he's got on there.
Yeah, so one here, and I'm going to just totally plug something for Eric here because it's so simple, but I bought a hat for the Trails Foundation in Northern Utah. I've got it here. I wore it on purpose because this is not my wear-around hat. But it's just a simple flex fit trucker-style hat. And it is so flexible and packable. It's awesome.
Yep.
It's my favorite hat. I wear it on pretty much every run. I have an Ogden made hat that's similar, but it's just not as flexible. I just love this hat. And you support a good cause here locally for us and for Eric. So just look into that. Trails Foundation in Northern Utah says I'm a trail user. It's been my go-to hat. Anybody that runs with me has seen me wear it. I wore it today on my run. So there you go. That's my hat. Traction. It's that time of year around here. Everybody always goes with the micro spikes, those sorts of things. Katula actually came out with a newer one called the Exo Spike. It's not as thick. It's not like a mini crampon. It's just got these carbide tips, and they were designed with the idea that you could run on dirt, ice, and snow with them. It's what I wore on my run today, and you don't feel like you have to take it off. If you're getting onto dirt or things, because those micro spikes, I'd always roll my ankles.
Yep.
So the Katula Exo spikes, that's something that I think's a must-have. Light-wise, I'm an Ultra Spire Lumen 600 guy.
Oh, I love that waist belt.
Love that light. I mean, the what's that other company?
It's Kagala.
Kagala.
Yep.
Kagala also very good light. It's a little heavier. But the battery lasts longer. It's super bright. The light is maybe better, but I love my Ultra Spire. I've had it for like 5 years, and it's still kicking. I've got a couple batteries to switch out on it. I love that. I
love that waist belt.
It's been my go-to. At hundreds, it helps me a ton. And then watch-wise, this last year I switched to the Phoenix 6 Pro from Garmin. Battery life super awesome. It's got interchangeable wristbands that you can do different colors. Just been a high quality watch. It's got maps on it that actually sounds silly, but like I've traveled for work and gotten kind of turned around, and you can just look at the map where you're at. It'll show you where you are. So those are all my miscellaneous items. And then one thing that it's a little bit more expensive than an item. I'm not a gooder guy. I can't do the gooders.
Yep.
I don't like how they fit. I'm a jewel bow guy.
Gotcha.
I get teased. My first pair that I had, my friend told me they were Skechers for my face. They just were that stylish, he thought.
Joe Montana would love it.
Yeah. And Kim Kardashian. Yeah, no, I got teased for them. But the new pair that I got recently is the Jewel Bow Rush. It's an expensive piece of equipment, but I really love it. It's got the adaptive lens, so as the day gets brighter, they get darker. As the day gets darker, they go lighter, almost clear.
Yep.
So those are my miscellaneous items. Squirrel's nut butter, always a must-have. Something that anybody can always use. So
and I'm gonna throw one last one on this list because I have to. We got some TrailManners swag still online. We got some shirts with the new logo.
There we go.
Me and Gunner running. It's a good way to support the show. We're back, folks. If you want us to stay back, you got to help us out. And I hate to say that. I hate to be that guy, but I love doing the podcast, as you heard. But there's some cool, fun stuff. You know, we still got a few hats. And Trevor mentioned this Trails Foundation hat. I'm the executive director for the Trails Foundation in Northern Utah. This isn't just a plug for my area because I know people listen to all over. But another great holiday time thing is give to your local nonprofit. Trail stuff as well.
They're out there everywhere you're at.
Yeah, trails are not free, and the more I dive into the working side of things, it's incredibly interesting with the challenges of trails, whether it's building, maintaining, having an organization to take care of them, or just be a voice for you. I've come into that, and I do. I even challenge my local friends. You know, become a member, support, donate, whatever it is, because it is important. And they aren't free. It's crazy expensive. You want to give an idea for one linear foot, a brand new trail in the mountains could then be $10. For one linear foot of trail, could be up to $10 or more. It could vary depending on the terrain, but you're probably anywhere between $6 and $12 a linear foot of brand new trail. That doesn't include working through jurisdictions and property ownerships and everything else. So just think of that, because that's not just here. I'm not just promoting that for me, but there's so many organizations out in the world where you live that could use your help that you may not know about.
You know, we were talking before we started the show. There's a picture here in Eric's office of a section of trail that I've literally run on probably 500 or 600 times on the shoreline here. And he helped build it with Gib Wallace, you know, here in the Ogden area. And you don't think about the work that it takes. You know, and Eric was telling me there's spots that really resonate with him because of things that happen. And everybody that I know that's worked on trails, it's the same feeling. You really become invested. And if you can't spend the time, maybe donate some money.
Yeah. And it's, volunteerism's great. And I know a lot of us do that to do our hours for races, right? But that's just another cool gift. We have members here that give a membership to a friend for a year. And I think that's a really cool gift. It's a way to give back, but it's also, something you're giving to a trail user that loves it. So I do challenge my local running friends that I've known forever that, become a member, help us out, at Trails Foundation. But the hat that he's wearing that he's talking about, just keep your eyes on the TrailManners page, because there could be that exact hat with some TrailManners logo.
I like it, because this hat, it's simple. It's a flex fit trucker. It is awesome.
Yep. One more category. Casual afterwear is what I call it. What do you wear when you finish on a trail? Like sometimes for me, I like to change into something if I'm sweaty, if it's cold, or just go to a coffee shop. And my go-to life piece, this is like life piece. Okay. I literally wear this top 2 to 3 times a week because I have a couple. It's not the same one. I'm not stanky. Is the Path Project's the Pyrenees T19. It's a long sleeve hoodie. And I have one here today. It's got a cutout for your watch, and then also the wrist. You can pull it over your hand. It's got a hood. It's super soft. That's mine. And then a new brand, not for new, but for me, Vuori. And I hope I'm saying it right. It's Vuori. It's been around. I have it. It's Vuori. They're Ponto pants and their Strato Tech shirt. That's whatever baby dolphin skin feels like. This is like 7 levels above that. It's so incredible. But some Vuori stuff is nice to throw on after when you're running with your friends. Just take your stank off, go to the coffee shop, go get brunch, get your Bloody Marys, whatever you do. This gear is ridiculous. And I wear it like sometimes in my office when I don't have a meeting with somebody. I'll be in here with some cool Ponto pant joggers, a little tech tee. Oh, I love putting clothes on after a run.
Yeah.
Because it just warms your soul, tickles your skin, you know. Casual afterwear. That's what I call it.
I like it. I don't really have anything for that, except I did ask for a specific post-run thing this year for Christmas. It's from Orange Mud, which makes some interesting packs that I don't always love.
Yeah.
They probably fit for somebody, but they have this towel / seat cover that you can attach to your car seat, so you don't get your car seat stinky
and then wet.
Yep. And then it also can fit around your waist, and you can change out your shorts.
Yep.
So it's something I legitimately asked for. It's like $40. Orange Mud. I can't remember exactly the name of it. I didn't write it down, but it's something I think is useful for me, so I don't get my car seat stinky and wet. And so if I need to change, I can change as well. A lot of times I'm running after work. So
yep. Those are good things. So now I'm going to leave with my what would Eric like list. This is anybody listening out there that what would Eric like for Christmas, right? I keep it running specific pretty much. Number 1, folks, a Hoka discount code.
Somebody's got to hook him up.
Come on. I'm a Hoka dude now. Hoka discount code. Number 2, an Arc'teryx Norvan jacket.
Ooh.
So, and this is before I talked to him about his fancy Solomon one, but the Norvan has been a staple. But that's another close to $400 jacket.
Yeah.
Next up is the Petzl Ico Core headlamp, 500 lumens. It looks super cool. It almost looks like
is that
someone's
the one with
breaking
the
into your brain.
One that'll flash brighter. And,
It's $90. It looks like a skull cap almost.
Yeah.
I've always wanted one of those. I think those are super cool. Heard great things. Next up, and I left this on purpose because I've been asking about watches. I'm a Suunto guy, have been Peak 9, but I'm got a little curiosity to the Coros, the Vertex 2. It's a $700 watch, and that's if you're gonna need a Coros, get this. So if anybody out there has Coros recommendations, hit me up. I'd like to know more about them. I'd like to test them out, right? But that's on my list. Next up, the Rabbit Easy gloves. I do not like thick gloves, even when it's cold. I got to have like a thin, and I've heard that's what these Easy gloves are. And my Pearl Izumi gloves are almost shot.
You could just do the Costco head gloves that I always wear. That's what I wear. I'm
going to have to check those out. I need super thin.
They're pretty thin. They're a little bulky, but.
Next up, what would Eric like? You ready for this one? This is the Humdinger. We're recording this podcast at the Trails Foundation in Northern Utah office. I sold Studio 78.
You did.
I want a podcast studio. Just a little room, just a little place I can leave my stuff and have as my home base.
Okay.
That's not my apartment. I don't want it in my house.
What if we just get a sauna and we do podcasts in a sauna in your house?
Not only would the equipment short circuit, I would short circuit.
Okay.
No heat. But I want a little podcast studio. I think that'd be fun. And I think so. This is a free podcast, so it's not like I want to dip into my personal funds to rent an office space, but that's on there. And last one that I'm begging, this is a beg to everybody that listens to this podcast and share it with your people. I would love to see this. Send a Christmas card to a friend or someone that inspires you, right? Somebody that you look up to, and it doesn't have to be running based. This could be professional, personal, an old teacher, something, but put it in a Christmas card, not a text, not a Facebook post, and please God, no TikTok videos. Send a Christmas card to somebody that has touched you, whether it's 10 years ago, last week, this year. What can come from that is bigger than anything. And I'm not trying to stand on some pedestal here, but there's comes something from
It
opening
means
mail,
something to somebody.
handwriting, right? Not just your normal picture card that you send out to your family and friends, which I still think are amazing, but a personal card to an individual or more, right? That has inspired you, that has lifted you up, all the feel good stuff, right? Because I think that to me is like the ultimate thing you can get. Cards are really, people are like, I hate cards. They're like $5 nowadays. It's a waste of money, blah, blah, blah. Send them a letter, whatever, if that's the case. But I really like when I hear stories of people thanking somebody that had no idea why, right? Because you touch so many people throughout the whole year, throughout your life. And when you hear about it, it's a game changer. Right? Because there's so much negativity through social media, through everything else. It's super easy to do that. So I'm challenging everybody out there that listens, send a Christmas card to somebody. And if you have more than one, wow, you're the best in the world. But do something super cool like that, because that'll go longer than anything you can give them, a gift card, anything else. So that's my challenge. I mean, who wouldn't like something like that? I
like that. I'll commit to that.
Yeah, but I'm going to do it.
There we go.
I've already got 3 that I know of. And if you don't have their address, you can find it. It's not that hard. Trust me. Not many people are off the grid anymore. But that's my challenge. So I'm going to leave you with this. This is the contest. Email me at manners@trailmanners.com or comment on the Facebook post for episode 1 or 2 of the Christmas show of what we need. Things we didn't mention. Maybe it's something we did mention or something else. Maybe it's the Koros watch we mentioned. Maybe it's a new shoe. Maybe you're going to challenge me with some shorts or a liner. Whatever it is, email manners@trailmanners.com. Let us know what it is or post it on one of the Facebook posts on these podcasts. And we're just going to randomly do prizes. We have 2 $75 Path Projects gift cards. We've got Trail Manners gear, beanies, hats, shirts, buffs, and there might be a few extra things I won't mention in there. Winners, I'll contact you. Either reply to your email or on Facebook, and it's all free. I'll mail it for free. I'll give you your little Christmas gift. So that's a way to participate and be a part of it. There's visors. There's all kinds of cool stuff that I'm going to send out to you. So that's the challenge. This is episode 1, Christmas part 1. We have part 2 coming up. Listen to that one. That's with Debbie Farka, so it can be on either one. But participate. Share this with your friends. The Trail Manners podcast, fingers crossed, is back and loaded and ready to go. Hope we have some listeners still out there. But we want to have a lot of fun with this. It's 6 years. We started this 6 years ago, me and Joel Hatch. We're a phoenix rising from the ashes to come back out. If you listen to episode 307, you'll know why. So I don't want to get into that. Preston, do you have anything else for the Christmas show before we part?
Not at all. Just happy to be here. Happy to be participating in a great community, because that's what it's all about. It is.
And that's if you've listened to the show historically. And if you haven't, go back. They're still there. There's 300 and some episodes you can listen to and pick and choose what you want to do. But the podcast always has been and always will be about the community. It's not about us. When I say Trail Manners, it's a we thing. It's everybody. There's so many people I've met through this podcast that aren't here in Utah. They're all over the world. Simon down under. I mean, just all over the world that I absolutely look at and think of you as just great people and friends. So spread the word. We're back. Don't forget to listen to part 2, and please participate in this contest. I want to give some things away. Let's just kick it off fun. Let's give some stuff away. And I always I'm a gear guy. Preston's a gear guy. We like gear.
Yeah.
Tell us about the gear we're missing.
Because we'll like it.
Yeah, we probably will. We'll probably buy it.
Yeah.
We don't get stuff for free. We'll just buy it. So, again, thank you so much for listening to Trail Manners podcast. Preston, thank you so much for taking the time. We're going to have you back on shortly.
Yeah.
To talk about the Hurt 100, pre-gaming for that, and then we'll get you when you come back. And there's other shows lined up coming out. We're going to have Tara Warren on for Rufa, Running Up for Air, that Jared Campbell puts on this great series. We're going to have a race director from the DC 50.
The infamous DC Peaks 50.
That made world news. Jake Kilgore is going to be on the show. We're going to have a lot of guests. If you want to be a guest on the show, hit me up, manners@trailmanners.com. Follow us on all the social channels. We're back. We're going to have fun with this, and we're going to see where it can take us. So, Preston, thanks again for being on the show. My name's Eric Manning, the host of the Trail Manners podcast, and we are out. Thank you for listening to the Trail Manners podcast, Christmas episode number 1. I'd like to thank Preston Wood for joining us today. You can check more of us out at TrailManners.com. So I want to encourage everybody to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, or check out the website, TrailManners.com. There you can pick up some swag. You can check out our store page. You can support the podcast by buying some of the fun shirts, even for Christmas. Or you can hit us up on the contact page and let me know what you want to see, who you want to hear from, or if you want to be on the show. And besides, I always love hearing for you. And if you could take a minute to subscribe to the show and leave us a rating on iTunes or Facebook, I'd greatly appreciate it. And lastly, TrailManners would love your support via our Patreon account at patreon.com/TrailManners to keep us alive and kicking. Until next time, this is Eric Manning reminding you, you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. Now go get it.